What's up? Guess what? Well, I survived my birthday. That was interesting. But I came across something interesting online, and it reminded me of two videos I've done. One was the stealthy video that talked about how dudes will try to intentionally get a woman pregnant because they want to control her. You know, they want to use the baby and the pregnancy as a tool to manipulate and control you both now and in the future. The second video that came to mind is the one about motherhood and recognizing when you aren't really motherhood material and how to stay true to yourself about that particular issue. And the third one was, actually I said two, but it's actually three. I just thought of the third one, was how sometimes abortion is the best option. So what I'll do is I'll put links to all of those videos in the description below so that you can check them out. But what I wanted to do was go over this posting that I saw. It basically involves a dude who stealthed a woman and got her pregnant, and you know, she was like not really, she wasn't interested in having no kids, and he, you know, convinced her to go ahead and have the baby anyway and to give the baby to him. So let me read it to you. See, I have to put on my trusty wow, what did I spill on these things? My trusty dime store reading glasses. Not too bad. But anyway, so this is what his letter says. We weren't in a serious relationship when she got pregnant. She has never met our son. Even after the birth, she had no desire to see him. We went to court to figure custody and support could be figured out, and I have 100% full legal and physical custody. Her name is on the birth certificate, but she has no custody and no right to visitation or to make things like medical or educational decisions. She didn't want any of that. Every month she pays 125% of the court-ordered child support. She says that if I ever marry someone who wants to adopt him, she will agree, but until then she'll just pay support. It's been this way since our son was born. I'm raising our son all on my own. He's 18 months old now and has never met her, and I don't even have any photos of her. I'm burned out and hate being a single parent. I love my son, but I resent him, he says. My family tries to help when they can, but I do it most of the time. I would never hurt or neglect him, but I am exhausted all the time. I tried to go to court to give her split custody, but because she wanted an abortion and I didn't, and she made it clear that she would never get involved after the birth, and because we went to court when he was 6 months old, but because he would already went after he was born and agreed on things, and now she pays more support than is court ordered, the judge said he can't force her to look after him. I haven't seen her in almost a year, and the last thing I heard was she had a tummy tuck and laser stretch mark treatment and is working at a gym. She also told her friends and family she was an egg donor and not a mother. She is a deadbeat mom, and the court won't do anything, and it's forcing me to struggle as a single parent. Do I have any legal remedies here? That was long as fuck, but you know, I just wanted to read you the exact thing that he wrote, because now we're going to dissect this nonsense line by line. Now, the key thing here is, you know, ladies, first understand, like I said in the video, when somebody stealths on you to try to get you pregnant, that's a form of rape. Technically, that meets the legal federal definition of a sexual assault, because even though you may have given him permission for intercourse, you didn't give him permission for that to happen because you were expecting, you know, just to have a good time and then get up and go on about your business without being impregnated or exposed to the diseases that, you know, raw sex will expose you to. So, you know, this was a sneaky, dirty kind of behavior. But anyway, she got pregnant. She wanted to get, you know, she didn't want to be bothered. And he begged her to have the baby anyway. Okay, so she did that. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because, you know, just if you don't want the baby, then don't fucking have a baby. But she, I think, was trying to make him happy. You know, he wanted a child, and technically that is what egg donors do. You know, the surrogate moms, they have the baby and then they give the baby to the willing parents. So what the service that she performed is accurately described by her description. But for him, that's not really what he wanted. Do you read the underlying thing is I haven't seen her for a year. She's never met her son. She got a tummy tuck and lasers and she's working at a gym. Okay, he's really focused on what this woman is doing outside of her role as a mom. You see what I'm saying? He's all focused on her. I really think that he thought that after having the baby that she would change her mind and that she would want to be with him and be a quote family and all this old stuff. And she let him know that it wasn't that kind of party, and she's sticking to her guns. That's the part about her that I appreciate. She's not wavering, she's not dilly-dallying, she's, you know, set herself on a path and she's sticking to it, and he can't take it. But the thing that drives me crazy is him saying, well, you know, I'm burned out and I hate being a single parent. You think you should have thought of that when you was busy asking to have your damn baby and, you know, just claiming that you wanted to have it. Okay, well, you got what you asked for. You wanted the baby, you have the baby. Now, see, what? And then he had the nerve to call her a deadbeat. No, anybody who's paying child support is not deadbeat. And anybody who's paying 125% of the court-ordered child support is so far from a deadbeat, it's not even funny. I mean, she's doing over and above because she could have just signed away parental rights and not had shit to do with it and had kept the baby out of her wallet and everything else. But she's trying to do the right thing, and he's not giving her any credit for that whatsoever. He's very resentful because, you know, he's a single parent. The baby's only 18 months old. He's got a long way to go. A long way to go. That, you know, he may meet some woman who wants to help co-parent with him, but the way women are these days, they don't want to be bothered with nobody else's kid. It just any more than men do. So, you know, luckily the baby's little and still cute, but I mean, you know, in a few years he's going to be like, you know, a little preteen and his little asshole, and nobody's going to be bothered with him. So this whole story, though, is kind of interesting because this guy, I cannot figure out why he's whining. You got what you wanted, okay? But he's whining in this letter about, you know, that since he practically forced the woman to have the baby, right, to not get the abortion. So she has the baby. You would think he would go away happy. But instead, he still, after even only 6 months, he dragged her back to court. And then that's when the judge told him, no, you know, this is not going to happen. You want something that's not going to happen. So I'm thinking, since that was such a short time frame after the birth, he really did believe that, you know, after having the baby, that she would change her mind, that she would see him with the child or hear about the child or be curious about the child or whatever. I keep telling people, you have this fantasy that every woman has this maternal instinct. And I keep trying to tell y'all it ain't like that, okay? And that's why I made that video about motherhood, because I want women to really understand who and what you are and then live your life accordingly. Don't be, you know, just trying to fit yourself into a mold of expectations for your womanhood and your body when that's really not where your head and your heart are. You know, it takes a special kind of person to be somebody's mama. And especially if you're going to be a single parent, having 2 or 3 kids, raising them by yourself. So that's more than a notion. And you really better be prepared for that kind of work. This guy evidently wasn't. He thought that he was using the child as a tool to control this woman, and she escaped his clutches, and now he's angry, not so much at the situation that he's in. Of course he's tired. Everybody with a young child is tired. But he's angry because she still looks good. She's single and free. All she does is drop that check in the mail with a basic fuck you, and he can't stand it because she's enjoying her life and he has absolutely zero control or influence over it. That's what he's pissed about. That's exactly what he's pissed about. So I think that, you know, he had some kind of fantasies about, you know, him raising this baby and being by himself, and this, I don't know what he thought really, because the letter just made him sound like a fool. You know, there's no clue how old he is either. That, you know, I really wanted to kind of know that, but he gave no indication of his or her age when all this went down 18 months ago. But this is something I think a lot of women need to understand, because see, when a dude in a situation like this, when a dude wants you to have a baby and y'all listen, you're done. Okay? Unless you have a setup like what she got right here. Or if he want to have the baby, and he wants you to help raise it and all this other stuff, you should make sure he puts like all kind of money in a bank account, in a trust for the child as well as for you. If he does not have those kind of finances, in his world, then what are you letting him rent your womb for free for? That has value on the open market. That has value. So you need to understand that, and not just be giving it over to any old Johnny come lately who wants to have a baby out of you. What this guy and what other women too don't understand is, yes, somebody can pay child support. They can pay child support. They can be ordered to pay it. They can pay more, like this woman does. What you cannot ever do is make somebody love a child or want to be around a child, or to want to love you and want to be around you either. So, having babies thinking that that's going to somehow draw this man closer to you and is going to make, him want you, or he'll change because you have a baby by him, and all these other crazy fantasies that women be having. See, this dude had those same fantasies. So it's not just a female thing. This is a male thing too. But the bottom line for me is, in a situation like this, if he's so miserable, he needs to either A, get a baby up for adoption, or B, suck it up like a big boy and just get over it. You wanted this. This is what you asked for. There's no reason for you to be resentful of the child, because you wanted the baby. The baby would have just been like some scraps on the abortion clinic floor, but you wanted it, so now you have it. You have what you asked for. So I don't understand why you're trying to flip the responsibility over on her and your family. I think ladies, you need to really think about this kind of stuff too. If you come into a situation like this, consider it. If you don't want the baby and you have the baby, would you give the baby to him? Under what circumstances? What documents would you be required to sign? That probably varies from state to state, because in some states you can't give up your parental rights unless there's someone else willing to assume them. So like in the case of an adoption, or your own parents, assume financial and moral and legal responsibility for your children, something like that, then you can sign over your parental rights. But in some cases you can't do that, and you're gonna still have to pay. So this is something that you need to think about if you start having that bleeding heart syndrome, where you think you're gonna have a baby and give it to the daddy. Personally, this is where my thing is, get an abortion. Don't be tripping with these men, because at some point, you just don't know how this dude is gonna flip. And he could very well show up at her house and find out where he lives, or her job, and show up and drop the baby off. Then she's gonna have a problem. You know what I mean? It won't be her legal, but she could just call social services or whatever. But I think that would put her in a lot of emotional turmoil that she really doesn't want to be, and isn't really required to deal with. So I just thought this was a very, very interesting situation. I have never seen a man whine so fucking much in my life. How many women do this thing and raise even more than one kid, and you don't see them writing blog posts and crying about the situation. They just deal with it and make it work. But this one, he just has some kind of sense of entitlement to this woman's time and energy, and trying to use the court system to force her to be a mother when she already said she didn't want to be one. Now he's trying to renege on the deal because he's tired. Fuck you. And I hope that's what she tells him too. Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com signing out. Remember to go to survivingdating.com and sign up for the webinar, which takes place this Saturday, August 12th. I moved the time up a little bit because it got dark on me last time, and I wanted to make sure that we had good lighting for everybody for the 2 hours of the broadcast. So survivingdating.com, look for the webinar, sign up, registration. It's absolutely free. You can submit your advice questions prior to the event or at the time of the event, either way. And I look forward to seeing you there. Bye-bye.